Welcome, bonjour, good morning, welcome everyone. We are absolutely thrilled to be hosting our second International Women's Month information session with our community. Thank you so much to everyone who's taking the time to join us. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather virtually here in Canada's capital is the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. We are very, very grateful to have the opportunity to join you and to be present in this territory. We are absolutely thrilled to bring our community together for our 6th International Women's Month. We have many exciting things in store for you. Today is all about equipping you, our community, our raison d'etre, for success in this coming month and to celebrate work that we do as a community all year long. First slide, please. As we jump in, we cannot wait to collaborate with you to really achieve the type of impact that we work so hard on all year long. And as we move into the next slide, we'll have the opportunity to take a peek at our agenda. Today, we are going to be walking through, of course, a recap of our vision, goals, and target outcomes, some of which many of you will have heard during our first information session. And of course, for those who have joined us over many years for this important work that we undertake together, you will be certainly pros at knowing exactly how we work together on those objectives. We're going to again thank our title sponsor. Very excited to have a very special guest. We'll just go back one slide. Thank you so much. We're going to announce our IWM featured leaders. These are role models in our community that lift up fellow women and really help to drive forward on the goals that we've set together as a community. We're going to share with you some of the initial events and associated sponsorships that we are so grateful for, and then focus on how you, together with all members of our community, can contribute, support, and promote these important events, campaigns, and activities that drive towards moving that dial and equipping and empowering more women leaders today and tomorrow in all fields. And then we're going to just summarize with our collective goals and jump into next steps. Hard to believe we're just 6 weeks away from our first week. Jumping into the next slide, please. A little bit of background for those who are certainly accustomed to being partners in this initiative. You know that on March 8th, the world celebrates the economic, social, cultural, and political achievements of women on International Women's Day. This year's theme, Inspire Inclusion. We are very passionate about that goal and look to build upon that certainly in the work that we do together in this coming month. In Canada's capital, of course, every year we join forces with people across our region, our country, and increasingly worldwide to create an entire month of impactful initiatives that are integrated together, dedicated to advancing these important goals. Members across our national, global, and local community continue to participate and benefit from in a series of these integrated events that really are focused on leadership for women from every single walk of life. Moving on to the next slide, please. I love this slide. Why? Because it really emboldens how we have come together. We took what was truly initially a day, turned it into a week back in 2019, and now 6 years later, we work together as a community to dedicate an entire month to shining a spotlight on equipping and empowering women from every single walk of life. We love that. It really shows tremendous leadership for all of you and all of those who are dedicated to this goal. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey and for taking action on this particular goal together with us. Next slide, please. Our vision, such an important part throughout International Women's Month. We strive to create a critical mass of successful women leaders from every walk of life who significantly impact our economy and our society. And International Women's Month, I have always said, is far more than a set of activities. It's a powerful driver for long-term sustainable change. It really does shine a spotlight on work that we undertake together as a community all year long. Strategic collaborative action is needed. We know this, that there are many different challenges we face during different times throughout the year, throughout our economy. There are many unique challenges that we currently face as a society at this particular juncture, where women can play a significant role in helping to drive the change that we need to see in our community and in our world. I've always believed that here in Canada's capital, together with all of you, we can lead the way for the country and for the world, together with our partners as an integrated community. And we truly do call on everyone to help us join this powerful wave of integrated collaborative action to drive this important dial. Next slide, please. Our objectives. Certainly here in Canada's capital, we strive to establish Ottawa as an internationally recognized region with a critical mass of top women leaders. There are so many in our midst that are driving change today and many more that will drive change tomorrow, who significantly help us to achieve that impact that we want to see on our economy, our society, our environment, and our world. We're here to really unite our community, spotlight, inspire, empower, and equip women in all professional fields. That spans tech, entrepreneurship, our investment community, industry, all sectors, government, academia, research, media, nonprofits throughout this entire month. And it really does set the stage for follow-up collaborations, relationships, and opportunity that continue to drive that dial all year long. We really want to take strategic collaborative action together with you that we know is needed right now and well into the future. This is a journey, and it's a journey that we travel together. And I think the beauty of this particular month is that we look to harness and leverage the power of our collective resources and initiatives to create that critical mass. Critical mass is required to drive that long-term change, to build a foundation for collaboration on our shared goals. Next slide, please. Target outcomes and impact. What are we looking to achieve? Truly that strategic coordinated community action that drives tangible and measurable new opportunities for women. That can range from new talent development opportunities, mentorship, business opportunities, investment opportunities. There are so many ways that we can work together to drive that dial and to advance what women have the opportunity to do in all of the different fields that we're targeting. We want to have tangible benefits and impact for aspiring and current women leaders. So that's not looking at just what we can do together today, but equipping future women leaders for tomorrow. Demonstrated and collaborative action from champions and allies from women from every single walk of life. One of the most important messages that I would love to leave with everyone on this call today is that we truly do want this to be everyone from our community. Men, women, non-binary individuals, all working together. Everyone is welcome. One of the beautiful aspects, I think, of so many of the events, campaigns, and opportunities that we create together as a community is that we look to reduce and eliminate as many barriers as possible, whether that's cost to entry into events, the way in which you can engage in events. We're thrilled to offer a hybrid series of events throughout many of the different initiatives that we undertake that allow women from wherever they might be, provided they have that Wi-Fi connection, to tap in and to benefit from some of these events, the ones that are most relevant and most pertinent to their leadership journey. And that's a key goal, eliminating barriers, creating accessibility. We're very grateful that you've joined us in that particular journey. Next slide, please. This is such an important statement, and it really is a commitment that we here at Invest Ottawa live every single day together with you on our journey, and we know many others are very committed to this journey. We really want to support women from every single background, and when we say the word women, we refer to all individuals who identify as women. This includes women of color, transgender women, women with gender diverse identities, including gender non-conforming women, and non-binary people. We do know that gender is fluid and can change throughout one's lifetime. We also know that these women have historically been excluded, systematically excluded from many mainstream programs, services, and opportunities. Together with our community, we are really making a concerted effort to prioritize equity, access, and inclusion in absolutely everything we do. We recognize that every individual also has very unique needs, lived experiences, and backgrounds, and that in some cases we may not be equipped currently to address all of those unique needs. We know that many of our partners share in that very sentiment, and we want to emphasize that we are working hard to leverage the diversity of partners, networks, the many DE&I experts, and many generous members of our community with that lived experience. And together as a community, we will do our very best to support the needs of all International Women's Month participants to the best of our ability. We welcome folks from all walks of life, and we're very committed to listening, to learning, and to helping everyone to thrive. So as you come through this journey with us, should you have feedback, questions, insight that you think that we could benefit from, we really want to hear from you. There's many ways to reach out to us, and my colleague and partner, Katie Leclerc, we'll really unpack some of that with you as part of this presentation. Next slide, please. Calling all champions and allies. As I mentioned earlier, we cannot do this alone. We cannot do this as a single organization, individual, or even as a single region. We need everyone working together to really lift and elevate and create new opportunities for women from every single walk of life. We hope that you will help us spread the word and create a truly inclusive month that fuels the impact all year long. This is really intended about setting a foundation for work and goals that we pursue together as a community, 12 months of the year. We are truly better together. It will take all of us working together to drive this dial, and we do call on all champions and allies to join us in any way you can, whether it's an individual initiative, a campaign, contributing your expertise, mentoring, supporting an individual woman, a group of women, getting involved in your community wherever you may be. We thank you for taking the time to join us and for making that investment. Next slide, please. It is now my great honor to call forward our friend, colleague, and incredible leader in our ecosystem, Michelle Scarborough, partner of BDC Capital Thrive's Venture Fund, joining us once again as our premier sponsor and champion for International Women's Month. Welcome, Michelle, and thank you so much for your leadership and for joining us again this year.
Well, Sonia, it's always a pleasure to be part of this initiative. Certainly the champion is in you and many of the others that are on this call. I was thinking back just before I got on about the last sort of 6 or 7 years and just the momentum that has taken place in Canada and around the world to support women leaders in, you talk about all walks of life, really in all walks of life, but really women stepping forward and taking a place and a seat at the table in a way that we haven't seen before. I started my career 20-something years ago, dating myself now, but when I first started my own career, particularly in venture capital, there were very few women in the seat. And when you looked around, you saw a sea of blue, usually a bunch of guys, and that's okay. But where we are today is so different. And the work that you've done, the work that all of the people on this call have done and continue to do has really been the catalyst, you are the catalyzing agents by which this change has taken place. This is not a small feat to change a culture and to change the way that people can show up at a board meeting, the way people can show up with an idea and turn that idea into a business. So these are the kinds of initiatives, yes, that happen all year long, but are really, really important. And, when we started the Thrive Venture Fund as the Women in Tech Venture Fund 6 years ago, which is where I was going, and we were looking for deal flow, there wasn't a lot. We saw a lot of women entrepreneurs, but we didn't see a lot of women really stepping into developing technology companies or joining teams in key leadership roles to bring their expertise to the table. And I think in the 6 years, we've seen a huge paradigm shift in that as well. So it's really testament to the work that's being done by everybody on this call and through the initiatives, Sonia, that you're doing through, International Women's Day, Women's Week, Women's Month, year, pick a thing, that are driving this home in a way that we're just now beginning to, sort of taste the fruits of our labor. So I commend you on that. And I really commend everybody who's taking part again this year, who are thinking about different ways to engage people and different ways to engage women in stepping forward into the roles that they want to own and owning their power with respect to that. So I think it's really important. We're, as the Thrive Venture Fund, as part of BDC, we're super, super proud to have been part of this journey so far and to continue to be on it with you today. And really looking forward to what's going to happen in March and frankly, on an ongoing basis as we think about investing in more women entrepreneurs and helping them to take their dreams and turn them into global realities. So there you go.
We are so grateful for your leadership, for all of your collaboration. BDC is the largest women-focused fund on earth. Thrive is just such an incredible example and role model for others around the world. We're very grateful. Thank you, Michelle. We can't wait to welcome you here in Canada's capital very, very soon, 6 weeks away. Soon. Thank you so much for everything you do. So grateful for BDC Thrive for coming back on board and equipping certainly not just members of our community and for those in Canada, but for really charting the way and charting a path, I think, for so many others around the world, and beginning with those right here in Canada, empowering more women founders with the capital that they need to grow and thrive. And of course, that's one of the many objectives that we will address through International Women's Month, that particular goal, in collaboration with the Capital Angel Network, with SheBoot, and so many others that are coming together to help address that exact need. Collaboration drives success. This is such an important message. Really, International Women's Week and now month was originally founded on community collaboration for and with our community. And in 2024, really, our strategic community is going to come together and build on many of the results and the steps forward and the success that we have achieved as an integrated collaborative community. Just a little bit of a look back, looking back on 2023 last year, 1 month of city, provincial, and national corporations that came together to catalyze action and that collaboration for impact. It really did increase our reach. We did that through, of course, some of the sponsorships that we established with BDC Thrive, with IBM, many other partners that make a critical in-kind contribution as well. 25 cost-free, highly accessible events serving a wide variety of sectors. One of the reasons we're so passionate about this month and inclusivity is that no matter what part of the business community, our public sector, our academic sector, the investment community, the not-for-profit sector, it brings all of it together for that collaboration for impact. We think that's very, very powerful, and it's absolutely essential to creating the access that we're looking to achieve for women, no matter what path they choose in terms of their steps forward as a career and in the ways that they're looking to personally impact our world. We had so many incredible podcasts with The Power of Why. We can't wait to work with Naomi Halley once again this year in terms of really driving forward the storytelling. If you see her, you can be her, shining a role model opportunity for so many of the women in our community, helping to share their stories so that other up-and-coming women and those that we're collaborating with today can really learn from their experiences. It was thousands of podcast streams, and it really drove the brand, and I think raised the visibility, the opportunity, and the accessibility of better understanding the different experiences that women leaders in our community and others have. We had 18,000 web page views. Our web page is a key resource, as you will hear from my colleague Katie Leclerc shortly, that is really intended to help you succeed in any event campaign that you're launching. It's intended to create this wrapper, an opportunity and a platform around all of the events that we undertake together. So we don't just promote a single or a cluster of different events and initiatives. We promote the whole and give that opportunity for everyone to be a part of something larger while still addressing their individual vision, mission, mandate through their individual event. So we think that's been a very powerful tool that we've heard great feedback from all of you on, that we will continue, of course, to evolve. New audiences reach many different participants. We had over 15 countries. It's incredible to see the type of impact that we have when we come together and how we can share that opportunity, not just with those in our geographic boundaries, but really be a leadership role model for others around the world. 30 plus community partners made it all possible. Again, we do nothing in isolation. Here as Invest Ottawa, here in our community, it takes a village, and a village truly comes together to empower this week. And together, we will continue to have the impact that we seek. Next slide, please. Building on 5 anchor years, it's so hard for me to believe that we are going into our 6th year. I am just so grateful for everyone who's been a part of this journey since 2019. And we're all about achieving even greater impact, building on the results we've achieved to date in 2024, engaging and empowering more women from every walk of life, addressing challenges that are relevant today, and equipping more women leaders to help drive progress on those challenges tomorrow. How do we equip more women for success? Generating greater provincial, national, and global participation to create what I love to call this integrated wave of action. Again, if we can take some of the great events, opportunities, leadership, talent, learnings that we've had here in Canada's capital and share them with the world, imagine the collective leadership impact that we can have on our world from here in Canada's capital. That's very exciting and inspiring to me. So generating greater community awareness, meaningful engagement, calls to action, bringing together more and more people who are united in this goal, explicitly including men that we know we need at the table to help us achieve that impact. That's a really important goal. And it's an important message that we want to share with everyone who's on this call and so many others that don't have the opportunity to join us today. Catalyzing demonstrated support and action from all of those champions and allies. And there are so many ways to do that. There is no one formula. The very same way there's no one path to success. There's no one path to establishing a company, no one founder journey. There's no one way to be a champion and ally. It really is building on the passion that you as an individual bring, as a team or as an organization can bring to bear on that goal. And we'd love to hear from you about the creative ways that you're doing that. Measuring and promoting outcomes and impacts of individual events that help us to really shine a spotlight on what we achieved through International Women's Month broadly. That really matters because we want to make sure that we're taking the right steps, that we're learning from what was successful and what perhaps isn't working so well so that we can continue to evolve. It's all about iterative learning. It's a learning journey, as I love to say. Next slide, please. Branding our collaboration. I am just so thrilled that our team, with so much input, so much support from different members of our community and learnings from those with lived experience, have really created what I think is one of the most dynamic, beautiful, and powerful brands that I've ever had the privilege of being engaged with. Branding is all about the experience that you create. I have never believed it was simply a tagline or simply an image or a logo. It's how you bring that brand to life, how you create an experience that's differentiated so that your audience and all of your stakeholders have the opportunity to live that brand, to live those values and all the attributes that underpin that brand. So our goal was always to establish key attributes with you, our community, that guide our messaging, our imagery, our choices, our actions in a very authentic way that allows us to create and deliver on that shared experience that supports our objectives. And so when we think about the types of attributes that we look to bring to life and translate into action that's consistent and that's authentic, that really reinforces that impact, we think about traits and attributes like collaboration, success and impact. Many, many ways to define that. It's not simply commercial impact. It's societal impact. It's environmental impact. That triple bottom line is something I know I'm very passionate about, and I know that passion is shared by many of our champions. Driving action. That we're not just talking about all of these important goals, outcomes that we seek, that we're taking action as a community to drive action on them and generate the change that we love to see. Bravery, having courage when it's difficult, making those changes even when there's adversity. We see that every single day in so many members of our community, and we're so grateful for that courage. Strength and passion. The ability to translate passion into action is something that makes that action so much more impactful and powerful. It has longevity, it has sustainability, and that's a really important facet of International Women's Month. I'm very grateful to our Invest Ottawa marketing and communications team for the beautiful, brilliant work that they have done on branding this collaboration and for engaging our community in meaningful ways to translate that into some of the beautiful work that you are going to see that will be rolling out iteratively over the many weeks ahead as we work together on International Women's Month 2024. Next slide, please. This is one of the most exciting moments in the entire presentation and certainly something that anchors the entire month. When we started out on this journey, we really wanted to look for those role models in our community that would inspire, equip, and empower women that we work with today, champions and allies that we want to be engaged tomorrow, and that next generation of up-and-coming women leaders. When we think about those attributes for the brand, for the overall International Women's Month, we really took on the opportunity to look across our community here in Canada's capital and identify those that embody those very attributes, values, that live them every single day, that lift fellow women up, that collaborate in novel, radical, amazing ways, that are supporting others, that are driving change, that are courageous, that are really leading the way. And so today we are honored to announce our 5 featured leaders for International Women's Month 2024. They will frame the basis for our campaign. You will see them engaged in our events, in our podcast, and our social media. We're so privileged and honored to have the opportunity to work with them, not just here at Invest Ottawa, but in so many different ways across our community. Drum roll. I'm creating that little drum roll. Next slide, please. We want to say a very special thank you to the 5 amazing leaders that you see on this slide for taking the time and committing to join us in this journey for 2024 to shine a spotlight on International Women's Month. Mary Yazdani, she is the CEO and founder of Genesis Link and Robo Safety. Susan Odell, who is a tech executive, CEO and founder of 80/20CS, an accomplished board member and author in our community. Jennifer Lecong, who is founder and CEO of The Aggressive Good, an amazing company that is doing marvelous things and driving forward on so many important societal goals. Kira Torco, Chief People Officer and Chief of Staff for Ascent Compliance, a company here in our region that's generating $100 million in revenue that is driving forward on all of those triple bottom line objectives in supply chain management and transparency. And Angela Ashpanagai, and she is the Indigenous wellness coach operating a critical business that is having tremendous impact on so many people here in our region. We are honored to work with these 5 leaders. You will see them, you will hear from them, and you will learn from them together along with us over the course of our journey in the coming weeks. I would like to say a deep thank you to everyone who has had the opportunity, and I am so, so grateful for all of your contributions. Thank you very much for being a part of this event and this month and everything that we do together all year long. Next slide, please. I'm now delighted to hand off to my partner and colleague, Katie Leclerc, who is joining us. She's had a few little technical challenges. We know that we are among friends, so she might be off camera for this portion of our presentation. Katie, thank you for all of your contributions, for your leadership, and for all the work that you're doing as our project manager for International Women's Month. I'm going to let you take it away on our promotional strategy.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Just give me a thumbs up that you can hear me.
We can.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Because of course, the one day that I have the worst technical issues is the one day we're going live with our group. But as Sonia said, we're among friends, except for I think Sonia gave me her tech karma. We've all heard Sonia speak to her tech karma, and now it's affecting me. We've been working together for too long. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so proud to be here, and I'm excited to join all of you, and we have great updates for you. Speaking to our promotional strategy, we're keeping strong with what we've done in the past and adding a little bit extra to help us be more effective as a collective. But our goal is just to consistently promote the whole of International Women's Month, as well as individual events, initiatives, and opportunities to get out to our network, what's available to them, and how they can get engaged to have greater impact. Our target audience, Sonia went over this so beautifully, but it's women, champions, and allies. We want to engage all folks who can have an impact. And our objectives, we want to catalyze awareness and meaningful engagement. We want to see outcomes as a result of International Women's Month and the work we invest in this. We want to enlist more allies and champions, bring friends along, get them engaged as much as possible. We have a greater impact as a collective, and create as many impactful opportunities. And, I do want to just mention here, this is why Invest Ottawa and all of our collaborators kicked off International Women's Week, which is now a month, in the first place, because we knew that coming together, we could have a greater impact and we could identify areas in which we needed to do better for our ecosystem. And we've done that, and that's built only greater momentum amongst our community broadly. And we want to grow the number of women leaders in our region, in our nation, and around the globe. All of us have specific, goals and intentions with what we host, manage, the initiatives we put forward during International Women's Month, and we all want to uplift everyone as we drive forward. Initial tactics. We want to make a splash. So you've already got a taste of the visuals. And yes, in the Invest Ottawa team, wait till you see what they've done this year. Really, truly outstanding. But we want to make a splash. And so we want to capitalize on the fact that we all have channels, and let's put them to use for our own goals and objectives, as well as the collective. We want to consistently drive people to the webpage. The more eyes that we can have on our calendar and the more eyes that we can have on the webpage, the better. We want to use our hashtags. So we want to be trending. We want to catch the eyes of those online, and we want to amplify, promote, and engage one another, of course. Or we're seeing consistent themes here of all just working together. Okay, next slide. We're going to move into resources. So as I said, we want to make a splash. With that, we want to have a strategy behind that. So our first is to engage, inform, and take action. And you'll see that on the webpage and consistently throughout channels that we use. Not only do we draw attention, but we use information to really make it clear why we're doing what we're doing and how vital it is. An example of that being I believe the most recent statistic, devastatingly, is 1.9% of women in North America receive venture capital investment. And that's appalling. And so, of course, there's organizations addressing this issue, but that's just one example of how clear we can make it using information. And then not only that, delivering that information and uplifting data and information that we're seeing as a result of these initiatives too, which leads to action. And then we take action on our side to say, this is how we're driving change, not only drawing attention to the need, but driving change. And we, with that as well, we have a 3-tiered approach, which is to first launch the announcement of International Women's Month. People who have been with us over the years know that we always say International Women's Week /month. International Women's Month or week. Really, it's a month. Anytime Sonia has the mic, she has to kind of giggle and admit that the events carry on. And this year, we're really embracing that. And we're excited to announce that to the community and make a splash with it. And promoting our calendar. Again, getting eyes on our calendar and also getting your calendar updates and your events published to our calendar. That's really primary. And making this as effective as possible, and then promote and participate in individual events. Like I said earlier, we're also going to be delivering the message that it's about bringing friends along too. So just bringing as many people along to these awesome events that we're hosting and that you're hosting all month long. What is available to you? So we've talked about the webpage. We've talked about the calendar of events, submitting your events online. The Invest Ottawa team will manage publishing those on that United Community resource. We have the Slack channel. So if you have questions, you can always send us emails. Of course, we'll be available there. But to avoid clogging the inbox, we have our Slack channel. And also, it's a great place to connect with one another and to identify other people who are really passionate and want to get involved in International Women's Month too. And perhaps you identify, a new collaborator to drive an initiative that you're passionate about. We have our newsletter. So we've got over 700 subscribers of those really passionate folks who are interested in steady, regular updates outside of just the individual event promotions. We have a collective newsletter, which is why probably a lot of you knew that this was taking place and you joined us today. We have copy and paste, co-branded assets, and really engaging content. The podcast is a great example of that. The Power of Why podcast is a favorite, absolutely a favorite of mine. And that's content that is really something you can splash across your channels too, because the more you can share those stories, as Sonia said, see her, be her. And that's what we want to do. Next slide, please. For our resources, Power of Why podcast, just recognizing it again. These are our last International Women's Month. We've had our feature leaders. We also were able to interview Michelle Scarborough. It's fabulous. Naomi does such a beautiful job at not only, getting tips and tricks from these brilliant people, but really getting to their why and getting to their story. So tune in, share, and get ready for our featured leaders being on the podcast this year. We'll be rolling those out over the next couple of months. Next slide. Okay, this is unique. We're trying something new this year, which we're really excited about. The Invest Ottawa team launched a SharePoint site. We're always trying to figure out how to most effectively get all the resources that we have available in your quote unquote hands, downloaded to your computer, shared with your teams, so that we can, again, have a bigger splash together, but so that it's easy for you to really integrate the branding, or just have, turnkey plug and play content that you can share with your ecosystem, or with your subscribers, or with your followers. And so that resource is going to be made available to everyone who attended today, and also those who participate in our Slack channel. Will get you a login so you can easily have access to these assets. Next slide, I'll go into a little bit of the assets that we have available. So as we said, we have a collaborator badge. This year, we really wanted to make it simple to identify those who are engaged with and participating in International Women's Month. So essentially, it's like adding another logo to already your pre-designs. We want to keep true to you maintaining your branding, but also being able to be associated with this collective initiative. Next slide, please. We do have the pre-branded graphics. So again, for those who love them, and they have said many appreciative words to our team about having pre-designed Canva graphics to be able to share with your network. We've got those. We didn't eliminate them. Don't worry. For those who are thinking, oh, now I'm going to be designing and only having the badge, you can do both if you choose to. Next slide. Okay, and this is where you can access, again, we see this as a community initiative. So we make the colors available, the fonts that we use for the branding, the logos, the monograms, and also the photography. I'm seeing here, if you look closely, one of this year's featured leaders, Susan, is featured there in one of our great shots from the F Factor, I believe. So you can go in there and even use assets from our events. Maybe you'll spot yourself. Our photographers are very talented, so you may want to download some of those images just to remember the great times and get excited for this year. So as I said, the team did a great job making these all clickable, and they're all stored in one location. So you can just, the process is simple. We've even designed email templates. So if you do want to go out to your network and you want to have it already pre-branded and beautifully done by a graphic designer, you've got that ready. Next slide, please. So I'm going to hand the mic back over to Sonia to share about the exciting events we already have confirmed. And I want to call just out before she starts. If you don't see your event here and you have something planned, get it to us ASAP and we'll start promoting right away. Okay, with that, handing over to Sonia.
Thank you so much, Katie. And what do I love about all of the great information you just shared? It's all about equipping and enabling our partners, our community, everyone who collaborates in this initiative in a way that allows each individual, team, organization to fulfill their vision, mission, mandate, to maintain their brand, but be a part of something larger that's coordinated, that's collaborative, that's all about you and our community. I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much to the entire team that helped to establish those resources, for all the work on the calendar. And of course, now we're coming to the confirmed events. That's really where we want to hear from you, so we can populate that calendar with all the amazing events that we know are under development right now. In some cases, we know exactly what those are. We have the privilege of helping to collaborate or lead some of these different initiatives, but there are many others that we know are underway. Please do reach out to us so that we can help you achieve your goals together as a community and drive participation to your events. And of course, lift up your campaigns and other content that you're sharing. We're really excited about taking that to the next level. What do we have in store? We have some pretty big announcements coming down the pipeline next week. I have to say, I am extremely excited about announcing some of our keynote speakers. We're going to share a little bit with you today, with more to come next week. So stay tuned. One of our anchor events, of course, the F Factor Fueling Women Founders, March 4th. That's the official start of International Women's Month. We're incredibly excited, of course, to partner with BBC Capital's Thrive Venture Fund on this event. Stay tuned. It will be hosted here live in Bayview and broadcast in hybrid fashion through our Hopin platform to anyone around the world who's able to join us. The next day, on March 5th, we have the Women Angel Investor Breakfast, and that's hosted by the Capital Angel Network and SheBoot in partnership with Invest Ottawa. Another big, exciting announcement coming. Stay tuned. A very, very important objective that that event addresses, getting more capital into the hands of women founders and getting more women angels engaged. The Capital Angel Network has done an incredible job bringing in more angels into that network, going from a handful to, I think, more than 30%. It's just an incredible leap and great example of, again, work that takes place all year long by our partners, but that we bring it all together with a special spotlight to really drive forward and catalyze big action around those goals during International Women's Month. AI plus the future of work. Really excited about this opportunity, hosted by IBM in partnership with Invest Ottawa and with BDC Capital Thrive Venture Fund. AI is truly one of the driving forces on everyone's tongue at the moment because of the impact of this incredible technology. We're going to be diving into some really important facets and opportunities and challenges related to AI. We hope that you will join us for that incredible event on March 6th. International Women's Day on the Hill. A big shout out to my dear friend Solange Touchim, who is the founder and CEO of Elevate International, hosting this very important event that brings together hundreds of people at Parliament Hill from industry, academia, government, and the nonprofit sector, all about equipping and enabling girls, marginalized women, and future women leaders so that we can achieve that impact together. That will be on International Women's Day on March 8th. Women leaders creating a more sustainable world. I think this was one of the most exciting events for me personally last year that we were engaged in because they focus on that triple bottom line. Invest Ottawa this year coming together with our scale-up partners right across the province, Mars and Communitech, really zeroing in on how we can equip more women leaders to enable that economic, societal, and environmental impact. And of course, we do this in partnership with BDC Capital's Thrive Venture Fund and MDK Business Law. Please stay tuned. That's going to be a really exciting event. Leaders driving the smart mobility revolution. This, of course, will be hosted in that final week of March, really driving forward on how smart mobility is changing our world and how women are at the helm, whether it's connected and autonomous vehicles, advanced robotics, drones, in the defense sector, different types of military-oriented innovations that draw on that smart mobility. Mobility is an absolute critical human right, human freedom, and we are working together to explore how technology and women driving that part of this revolution are helping to change our world. This will be done in partnership with our great collaborators at Women in Automotive Tech, an organization I'm honored to sit on the board of, together with Rogers and, of course, our title sponsor, BDC Capital's Thrive Venture Fund. These are just a few of the initial events that are coming down the pipeline. And of course, there are others that are under development. We want to hear from you. We also want to shout out that there will be many organizations and teams and partners that host events that are targeted to very specific communities. We're excited that our friends and colleagues and collaborators at the Ottawa Indigenous Business Hub are one example of a partner that we're working with on some very specific objectives, and of course, looking to engage Indigenous current and future women leaders throughout all of our events, as one example. We would love to hear from you about the events that you're planning. We look forward to promoting them together with you. Next slide, please. Building a successful, if we could just pop back, that's excellent. Our second wave of events that we're excited to share with you, building a successful e-commerce business, March 26th, right here at Bayview Yards, hosted by our Small Business Enterprise Center here at Invest Ottawa. Thank you to Paula Hopkins for being the champion and the driver for this event, of course, in partnership with our premier sponsor. Want to do a very big shout out and thank you to our friends and colleagues at Strike Up 2024. Their theme this year, Driving Change, hosted on February 29th. So that's just at the cusp of that kickoff in this leap year. Thank you so much to all of our partners in that part of the province. Women Innovation Summit hosted on March 7th by our partners at DMZ. The 13th Annual Women for Women's Luncheon on March 7th, and that's hosted by the Women's Hospital College Hospital Foundation, presented by KPMG. Thank you for your leadership. I'm thrilled to sit as a director on the Mind Trust board, and Mind Trust will be hosting once again their graduation event with all of those incredible next generation leaders in our community on March 8th. We look forward to hosting that here at Bayview Yards. Thank you so much to everyone who's involved in donating and expressing their support for Mind Trust and helping to build those leaders of the future. And as I said, many more to come. We want to hear from you. What are you planning? Please let us know. If you don't see your event here, I can assure you we will get it onto your calendar, our calendar for you very, very soon. We just need that information, and we look forward to driving forward on those goals that we have set together as a community. Next slide, please. Really just want to emphasize as we're coming to the conclusion of our presentation, it's all of us working together that will make meaningful, impactful change. We call on all champions and allies to join us to achieve that really important impact that we seek to deliver on in this coming year. We are better together. We are more powerful. We are stronger, and we achieve more impact when we work together as a community. Here is Team Ottawa, Team Ontario, and Team Canada, together with our partners around the world. We know it will take many different people making different contributions, investments, and really pulling together to show what can be achieved when we cooperate and collaborate in new, novel, and radical ways, as my dear friend Suling says at the Ottawa Board of Trade. This includes men, women, and gender nonconforming folks from every walk of life. We need you. We want you. We hope that you will join us in this journey. Help us make our 6th International Women's Month our best year ever, and then join us in driving forward on those goals all year long. This is a really special opportunity for our region and our world. We thank you for being a part of it. Next slide, please. Next steps. Katie, I'm going to invite you to walk us through and bring this home. Actions. Next.
Wonderful. Well, I love a check mark. So we've included them here because we've done our first community information session, completed. Our second now concludes. Next, we're launching our tiered campaign. So really, we're going to be publishing our IWM branding, announcing our featured leaders online, promoting all of our informative and educational and engaging content, the Power of Why podcast included. We're going to drive audiences to the calendar, and then we're going to promote all of our community initiatives. And from on the other side, in terms of equipping you, you're going to receive steady, regular emails. You're going to have updates on the Slack channel. We can get that login available to you today. And then we'll also just be making sure that you can access our SharePoint site. So after that, we should be ready to go, and then seeing each one of you online or in person during all of the International Women's Month events and activities. Next slide, please. So again, we'll reiterate. We are submitting all of our events. We're going to our website, updating our website regularly. We're doing that now. Submit your events, join us on Slack, visit the SharePoint site, equip your own marketing teams or yourselves to be able to promote, download our branded assets and and then share that content across your channels, add the International Women's Month badge, and participate. And that's it. Those are the concluding next steps. We just want to say thank you so much. I'm going to hand it back to Sonia to conclude us. And then if we have questions that pop up, we'll address them now, and then if not, we'll be able to conclude. So back to you, Sonia.
Marvelous. Thank you so much, Katie, for everything you are doing to ensure the success of this initiative, to collaborate and to equip our community. Certainly, we would be happy to take any questions you may have. I know our friend and colleague Danica is operating our platform. So if there's any questions that you have, please feel free. Katie, how can we join the Slack channel?
It's as easy as clicking a link. So as I said, after this session, we're going to make sure that everyone who registered today and participated and everyone who's joined our mailing list has access to the link, which will bring you to the International Women's Month Slack channel. You'll see that within there's different categories. So we really cater the content and provide updates, and then you'll be able to connect with one another. So literally as simple as clicking a link and then adding your name and your email address and creating a profile.
Amazing.
Do we have any other questions?
Slack has been a great resource because often I will share that we get many requests for connections or potential events or campaigns. How can I contribute? we are just one partner, one organization, and one team in this broad community integrated initiative. Slack brings you together with a host of different collaborators, all of whom have different insights, expertise, backgrounds, knowledge on different events, and many of whom are hosting their own events that are looking for potential speakers, amplifiers, collaborators, and certainly participants just like you. So I think it's a wonderful way and a very efficient way to come together with other members of our ecosystem to look for those important serendipitous connections of those who share your views, your passion, your values, the opportunities that you might like to become engaged in. So thank you for that, creating that resource, Katie. I think it's truly valuable.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. Chance to meet so many new members of our community.
Absolutely.
And I have this privilege all year long. And I just want to say thank you to everyone in the community that has supported International Women's Month, that supports our goals in our international endeavors, all of the work that we do to support, enable, equip, and inspire women, leaders, founders, entrepreneurs, today and tomorrow from every walk of life across our community here in Canada's capital, and increasingly across the province, across the country, and around the world. So thank you all.
Oh, Sonia, you just triggered a thought in my mind. So I'll just say the other thing that we should share is that we welcome suggestions on resources as well as other events. So, if there is if there's a virtual event, for example, that's happening elsewhere in Canada, but you feel our ecosystem should really be engaged and have access, please share that with us and we'll get in touch with the team and confirm that we can promote it in our calendar. Really, it's all about giving more opportunity and exposure to folks. So please share that. And sorry, I just saw I got distracted as well. So share. And also, someone had said where's the sign up link for our newsletter? I'll share that as well after. So how do you take part in the newsletter? That's available on the Invest Ottawa site for International Women's Month, but I will share it directly to your inbox along with the Slack registration or Slack link. So you can just submit your information and then you'll get updates from here on out.
Excellent. Any suggestions or recommendations for us as we engage? Being open, being very opportunistic in terms of how you proceed and the kinds of goals that you have set when you think about what you might like to achieve. Certainly chatting with many different folks, getting many different perspectives, thinking about the types of organizations that you might like to support in their goal. What kind of insight, expertise, opportunity, and experience might you be able to bring? Being thoughtful and intentional about what goals that you would like to support in International Women's Month and throughout the year. I always love to think about, how I can add value, whether that's with a particular individual, a particular goal, a particular cause, something I've seen that might inspire me in our community. I think the more open we are to those amazing opportunities, the more power we create together. And it's a learning journey on both sides. Certainly, I can speak honestly that I learn every single day when I engage with many different members of our community. And I hope that along the way, I'm able to help others learn as well and to create something that's really, truly mutually beneficial. So that would be one of my thoughts. But leaning in, I thank everyone who leans in on this goal because we truly need everyone working together to drive the kind of progress that we seek. So however you choose to do that, whatever time you might have available, whatever gifts you like to bring to bear and talents and unique knowledge and all of the attributes that you are, I think there's always an opportunity for everyone to contribute. You can lead from any position. I've believed that my entire life. You do not have to rely on a title, a salary, a role, any particular organization. We all have something unique to contribute. So I encourage you all to think about that opportunity as you go forward and engage. There's a lot of openness and really welcoming, belonging sense of community, not just during this month, but all year long. And I'm just so grateful. And with that, I see that we're now at 4 minutes to 12. I want to thank you all once again. Thank you to Katie. Thank you to Danica. Thank you to our featured leaders and to everyone who is supporting International Women's Month. We know there have been many dialogues, and I've been privileged to have many discussions with lots of organizations that I know are working on events as we speak that just aren't in the calendar yet, where details are still coming together. Just a few include Canada North Business Association, our friends at Wesley Clover, the Royal Ottawa Hospital, Dare to Be Vulnerable, all of our post-secondaries. I look and I just cannot wait to share all of these exciting events with you and drive the participation that we know will be so important and impactful for and with those organizations and for our community as a whole. So I thank you all. Very, very grateful. Katie, great to see you. I apologize for sharing my terrible tech karma with you. We are so grateful for all that you do, and we look forward to being a part and helping to drive forward on the objectives with all of our community and everyone that's with us today. Thank you so much. Merci tout le monde. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Merci.